Hi, I'm Shuba, and I'm slowly making my way through The Artist's Way, a 12-week course to rediscover my creativity. Each week, I read through the chapter, share my thoughts, and do something artistic that's tangible, something that I can be proud of. Week 6 is about money and abundance, a topic to be quite sensitive to get through because Julia Cameron asks us to think of money differently in a way where spending money can affect our creativity. Up until now, I've always thought that my creativity block comes from not having monetary resources to create or tangible art supplies. And while that isn't wrong, the real blocker to blame is our time. This chapter may be a bit tone deaf, especially since not everyone has the luxury to view money this way, but for the sake of this process, I'm speaking from my life and experiences. We often think that work comes before play and our money should be spent on the necessities rather than our hobbies, but Julia Cameron reminds us that our hobbies are just as important. She reminds us yet again that we deserve time to ourselves, self-care, and finding luxuries in life, big or small, so we have abundance to create. Until I read this chapter, I had viewed luxury as something expensive, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a Coach bag, that really expensive camera, or that stunning dress that is out of your budget. It's the idea of doing little things or making small changes to romanticize your life. Julia Cameron invites us this week to not be threatened by the idea of spending money and spoiling ourselves, and also to ask ourselves, what brings us true joy? This week, I'll be focusing on little luxuries to fill my creative cup and bring abundance to my life. I'll leave you with the quote, "The life is lived when tiny changes occur." Leo Tolstoy. I feel like this video is going to be the gloomiest video I will ever have filmed because it has not stopped raining since I started filming on Sunday. Today is Wednesday. We're getting close to the end of the month. You all know how excited I am for a fresh start for a new month. But dang, the rain will not stop pouring. It's like Mother Nature knows how I'm feeling right now. I usually like to pair my videos with some sort of reading vlog or reading content. No reading vlog for this video, but I figured I can give you reading updates on everything that I'm currently reading and processing through. We'll start with a quick Artist's Way update for week 6. The idea of luxury. I told myself at the beginning of the week that I would be a little bit more in tune with my wants and my wishes and just to be open to adding some little luxurious moments to my week. Because of this weather, I have not left the house outside of having to go to work. My little luxuries have kind of been non-existent. I do count reorganizing my bookshelf and adding shelves to my room as little luxuries. I love organizing, as you all know, so it was just really nice to take a moment to myself and figure out how I wanted my room to look and figure out how I wanted my shelves to look as well. And I think it turned out really well. So I'm giving that as a moment for me to be creative because my shelves don't just have books. They have trinkets, they have other mementos and pieces that I like to keep near and dear to my heart, which is why they're in my library room, which is what I'm calling this room. My office, I guess. But library just sounds more fun, doesn't it? That is my update for The Artist's Way. And all in all, I love treating myself. And I've realized I'm not doing it enough. Outside of that, I have started 2 other books. I figured I can just give you currently reading updates since I'm doing weekly vlogs. The book that I am almost done with is Soul Searching by Lila Sage. I have 100 pages to go. I'm almost done. I think this is a perfect palette cleanser going into November. This is a perfect book for me to end with. October was not the best reading month for me. I'm really glad that I picked this up when it did because it's just giving me the cozy, cute, ghost romance vibes, even though I'm not really a romance reader during the fall and winter months. It's very mindless of a read. I will say though that this story does remind me of Ashley Poston's The Dead Romantics, because both main female characters in the stories can interact and speak with ghosts, and they both end up going back to their hometowns. I do like this one more. There's less grief in this story. It's lighter, like I mentioned. I feel like I've been slowing down with my reading lately, and I'm not mad about that or anything like that. It's just time, seasons, life is just kind of getting in the way. I have other priorities at the moment. I'm glad that it's going to be the last book that I finish. I am trying to read a nonfiction once a month of any topic of my choosing. I just want to be more informed, and I want to diversify my reading and the type of books that I read. I'm not giving myself a time limit to finish this book since it is a little bit heavier. It is called Palestine Hijacked by Thomas Suarez: How Zionism Forged an Apartheid State from River to Sea. And this is just a brief history of the conflict between Israel and Palestine. And it's very timely, but also I just want to be more informed. I want to know more about the background and the conflict between the two. There is one note that I do want to mention if you are interested in reading this book. I don't condone what has happened in the past or what is happening with Gaza right now. I have my own feelings about that. This book follows the causes and driving force behind the present tragedy. It is not an inventory of every incident of violence. I really like that point of view, and this is just very fact-based, and I am interested to read a little bit more. For the time being, I've read 7 pages. I read the introduction. I'm reading a little bit at a time. I'm not forcing myself to finish this thick book in like a day or two. I am just reading it when I need to, a few pages a day, just like I said, so I can be more informed and stay up to date, but also understand the history behind it all. And those are my reading updates for the week. Mark brought back Chipotle, so I'm gonna go eat lunch now. Each month, I'm trying to stretch my creativity by junk journaling a monthly inspiration spread as a way to envision what I would like that month to look like. I start by thinking about that month's intentions and curate my mood board based off of those monthly intentions. For November, I want to practice mindful spending. Saving up is still a priority, and I would like to only purchase what truly adds value to my life and resist any impulse buys. This is so timely since we're heading into Black Friday and Cyber Monday. My second intention is to nurture my health with compassion. As holiday season begins, I want to give myself grace to enjoy Thanksgiving and seasonal treats without guilt. Balance and joy are a part of well-being. My last intention is centered around gratitude. I want to cultivate gratitude daily by making space for one thing, big or small, that I am thankful for, people, opportunities, or even just the simple comforts of my life. With these intentions in mind, my mood board is cozy, homey, and represents some November activities I'd like to try: simmer pots, puzzles, and of course, a lot of coffee and reading. The white space was bothering me, so I wrote down some quotes I found on Pinterest as reminders for myself. Go where you feel most alive, do small things with great love, ask for more, the universe isn't on a budget, which is so the artist's way coded, and make yourself a priority. I think my November spread turned out lovely. Bucky and I would like to give you some end of the week reading updates. Right, Bucky? Hey! That's not an update I want from you. There's nothing for you. There's nothing right here. See? It's gone. Go find something else to play with. So personally offended. I thought, like I said, we could do an end of the week reading update to wrap up this vlog. Starting off with Soul Searching by Lila Sage. I did finish this book and it was fine. It was good. I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. It was what I needed for the end of the month. It's what I was happy with. Honestly, though, if I think back to other romances, this is not my favorite. I absolutely adore the Rebel Blue Ranch series by Lila Sage. It's her first 4-book series that she wrote, and it's probably one of my favorite romance series and also individual romance books that I've ever read. They're so heartfelt and so good. Lila Sage just knows how to tug at your heartstrings and just make you fall in love with the characters. And unfortunately, with Soul Searching, I didn't really get that way. I didn't feel the same way that I felt reading Rebel Blue Ranch. And it's fine. These are different books. However, there is a connection between Sweetwater Peak and where Rebel Blue Ranch takes place. So that means that they're in the same universe. Will I read this next book in this series? Yeah, I'll probably still read it. And when I give something a 3 out of 5, that does not mean that I did not enjoy the book. There were parts of the story that I didn't enjoy. For example, I didn't really like our main female character or our main male character. I actually liked the... Oh, what do we do with him? I actually liked the main female character's twin sister, Clark, more than Collins. And the sequel to this book is going to be Clark's story, and I'm more interested in her story. I didn't need something very exciting. I just needed a book that I didn't have to think too much about, and I know I mentioned that, and this gave me that. Not much brain power. It was more just for vibes, and the vibes are perfect for October. Happy Halloween, by the way. So that is my reading update for Soul Searching by Lila Sage, and I wanted to spend some time properly talking about Palestine Hijacked. I feel like I kind of breezed through it, and I want to give more context as to what this book is, but also my thoughts so far. I did read another chapter, so I'm officially on chapter 2 of this book. This book, as you might guess, is nonfiction, and it is basically retelling events where Zionists used terror tactics and inhumane acts of violence on Palestinians. The book is also devastating, but it's interesting to learn about other countries and pieces that play a part of this larger puzzle. For example, US and also Britain back in the day, and how they could have actually stopped this ongoing war. What's also crazy is that this conflict goes back to the 1900s, earlier than that, and nothing has changed. If anything, it's gotten worse for Palestinians, and I wanted to better understand the beginnings and the history of the conflict. I'm also annotating it too and taking notes in my commonplace journal just so I can have a place to track not only my thoughts but also facts that goes along with my thoughts. And you might guess all of my thoughts are either what the hell, oh my gosh, or you have to be kidding me. And lastly, let's do a recap of The Artist's Way. I have failed myself and I have failed you. I've decided that this video is going to be a part 1 for week 6. Next week's video is going to be part 2. And that is because the only thing that I've done for week 6 is read through the chapter, share my thoughts on the chapter with you all, and work on my morning pages. I didn't get to do my artist date, and also I didn't work on any of the activities either. This week was such a blur, and I feel like it went by so fast, and I had no time. Time is the killer here. So next week's vlog is going to be focused on the artist date for week 6, and just centered around the abundance and money aspect of it. So for money, technically this week I was supposed to track every single item that I purchase, and I was supposed to track my spending just to see where my money goes towards, if it's necessities, if it's hobbies, to gauge what I'm spending my money on and if I can shift some of that money around to give more space for my creativity. Didn't do that. So I'm going to do that next week. This week, I didn't really spend time treating myself, so I want to go on some fun little activities and excursions next week. Maybe turn it into a fun fall vlog, treat myself, and focus on adding some of those luxuries to my life. I did mention that I worked on my bookshelf, and that was a part of change and evolving, and that brought me abundance and joy, which that makes me so happy. But what else can I do that can bring me joy that I can sprinkle in? Next week's video should be very fun. I'm excited. I already have some ideas that I want to start filming. Lastly, the abundance aspect. I want to get out more. For so much of this chapter, when we talk about abundance, it's from a money aspect. But then I was realizing that abundance can also be from whatever is around you, and specifically nature. Nature is such a catalyst for creativity. And next week, I want to focus my artist state and center it around nature and the outdoors, because art is all around us. And I think that's something that we always forget. For the last few weeks, I was creating art by looking at other people's art and mimicking my art off of that. Next week, I want to focus on creating art from my own inspiration and not judging myself for it, just being able to look at my surroundings and create from that, specifically nature, and that is because nature brings us abundance. So if you liked part 1, then stay tuned and watch next week's video because I'll have a part 2. And that's it. See you in November. Have a great day. Bye.